Everybody's here. Let's go. Is he coming? He went and raced it. He lives for it.
Sorry. I think
They work around.
What's going on? I can't take credit for that.
Are you going to see it? Yeah.
That's all right.
See you.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah.
It should be.
Oh, I knew you.
Yeah, you definitely.
You look so.
I got him.
I didn't. I really tuned pick me up. But that's good there.
No, they're not. Not to my knowledge.
I'm gonna move during the thing.
I'll be right back.
Okay.
Oh, you're live though. Say hi. How are you? Honor for your sister. Yeah.
I couldn't rest.
My kids, my daughter's 39, my son is 45. I have a grandson. I do too, but it has to teach a class semester, so I'm back in town the next night.
Oh dear. It's all right. It's all right. It's all right. Take the seats. Let's sit over here. No, it's okay. Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, busy.
All right, give me the push it.
Yes, that is a good.
Oh, you're fine. I'm okay. So I like to take photos and hold my seat. Thank you.
It's a pleasure to meet you. Frances was a mentor.
Oh, I can curse.
Frances was
Is she the family for Barbara? No.
Yes.
Okay, yeah.
That's Cynthia, right?
Tim, not way.
This is my acting debut. Let's see how it goes.
Well, you're putting on a presentation.
I'm Marcus.
Yeah, I'll be very critical. I'll be
Sorry.
with Jamie. He really is.
And we got Doug Weeks again to do. He's the lawyer.
I remember John.
Yeah. You did great.
Good deal.
Great.
Yeah, no, in fact, and you guys were doing that, and then Mendez, he had asked, I was actually in the hospital at that point, so I had to bail. I'm okay now.
Good.
I had to bail. I never did.
We haven't done it.
Wait,
So we're going to ask you to.
This was last December. There was some sort of.
We're going to show.
Yeah.
We're going to
well,
show
maybe that's
Doss.
Okay.
But we're going to do Mendez.
Okay.
And we have you slated to be one of the.
I'll be
As
one of the biggest.
one of the four biggest. It's fantastic. Good dude.
No, I'm there.
Right.
But I don't think that's the first. It's live now.
Myself, I think he's strange.
Hi, Darlene.
I'm from Orange. What's this month from Orange? Orange.
Okay.
Oh, okay. I'll introduce you.
Our joy. But he's speak Spanish, so it's really bilingual. Spanish is expensive.
Still? My father-in-law.
I was the president of the corporation. And Jackie Gorman, the guy. I see they had time. Although I organized 1972. Things to write. Wow.
And be able to see the whole thing.
Right now,
That's my dad. That's her dad.
Danny and I used to raise all kinds of hell.
This together.
All over.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Nice to see you. I'm going to behave and sit down.
But why don't you, are you not working for the I don't, maybe you better sit here and I'll sit over there. I think it's better that you get the better shot. Yeah, yeah. I'll sit right there at the end. Yes, yeah.
And I'm sorry.
Ron is president of the American Economy chapter. He knows your sister. Real
Yeah. This is Monica. This is Ricky.
So is this where you're doing your magic? It's live right now. Yes. How are you feeling? Good, better. No, I didn't have time. I was like,
Yeah, I was Greg's law partner, also married to
okay. I think
some of my family.
probiotic.
Now I still have to.
What's your first name? Reed. Yeah, I remember. We went out for like a lunch over Saturday.
And I get really after.
Washington, sometimes. Yeah, I know.
85%.
Great to see you again. Yeah.
It's like,
Which one you sitting?
Just- say hi.
The other one person left.
That sounds. It started at 5, so.
I want to photo with you.
Yours, I think. Is somebody sitting here?
Yeah.
There you go.
So, stories I tell us about yeah. We know a lot of things. Some things out. So you know my mother also, Eileen. Yes. Okay.
All of you, one big Hannah.
Anna, yes.
Big together. We have all the days together. It's not understanding that we found. Organize all the Yes. Yes.
Yes.
I've got the one great record in my house. I want you to look at it.
What are their names?
I have Daniel Day.
It's you. Hey, Guzmán, you were saving me a seat. Where is it? Don't you time? You're not next to me. Well, I didn't ask you. I'd say, I don't know. You're a dog. Oh, are you sure? I don't want to make you move. Sure.
Me too. Who was going out?
Well, we need a historian.
Yeah. In the same office. He's a great guy, great guy, good guy. So, anyway. Sure. Well, she's in the same office this week. Yeah, go ahead.
But I was a teacher for 20 years for that.
It's
I've got portrait.
I'm Tim Weber.
Vanessa, nice to meet you.
This is Vera.
Myra,
This is Cameron.
Canberra.
Francis.
That's nice to meet you.
Oh, you're Verified everything. Welcome, everyone.
Here to make welcoming remarks on behalf of the Orange County Hispanic Bar Association, the President of the Hispanic Bar Association, Frank Torino. Mr. Torino. Thank you, Judge Aguirre. Good evening, everybody. My name is Frank Torino. I am the current president of the Orange County Hispanic Bar Association. And I want to take the opportunity to welcome everyone to the Judge Frances Muñoz Poderosa Award Ceremony. There she is, La Poderosa herself. Judge Frances Muñoz was the first Latina trial court judge in the country. She was appointed in 1978 and served an incredible 38 years on the bench here in Orange County. Every year, we celebrate her legacy and obviously the work that she did by having and honoring exceptional Latina attorneys, judges, legal scholars, and trailblazers. This year, we are going to recognize 5 visionary Mexican-American women who were plaintiffs in the historic 1945 case of Méndez versus Westminster School Dist. And here they are. I'm going to read out their names. It's Felicitas Méndez, Mary Luisa Estrada, Virginia Guzmán, Irene Palomino, and Josefina Ramírez. Here to give some opening remarks is the superintendent of the Orange County Department of Education, Dr. Stephen B. Dr. B.
Thank you. All right, well, good evening, everybody. Let's try that again. Good evening, everybody. Good evening. There we go. Listen, it's an honor to be here, but first I wanted to call out some very important officials that are here. So please join me in welcoming Assemblymember Treetop. Please stand, Treetop. Senator Tom Umburn. And of course, we must give a big round of applause for Judge again. Well, as the Orange County Superintendent of Schools, this evening feels very deeply personal for me. I came to this country, if you don't know my story, as an immigrant. And I faced language barriers, a disability, and many closed doors. But you see, education opened up the world for me because someone believed I belonged. And that's why the story of Méndez versus Westminster moves me so deeply. 5 Mexican-American mothers that you just see up here stood here in Orange County to end segregation in our schools. Their courage didn't just change California. It inspired Brown versus Board of Education and changed America. And tonight, yes. And tonight, we honor Judge Frances Muñoz, the first Latina trial court judge in California. Her life reminds us that justice isn't a moment. It's a mission. Let me repeat that. It isn't just a moment, it's a mission. Their legacy, these women and the judge, reminds me why I serve, why we all serve, so that every child in Orange County, okay, no matter their background, their language, or their ability, has the same chance I was given. The chance to learn, to lead, and to lift others along the way. And so for that, we just want to say thank you for being a part of this celebration tonight. Thank you for being a part of this work for our kids on behalf of the 437,000 students that we have in Orange County. Thank you. I'm Dr. Stephen Bean. Have a great evening.
Thank you, Dr. Bean. Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Bean. I want to take a moment before we begin the reenactment of our trial to give an explanation of class action suits for those that may not be familiar. What you see in front of you is the actual complaint, the actual document that was filed for the case that we'll be reenacting today. And as you can see, a class action lawsuit has several plaintiffs. Those are the people on the first big glob of words that you see up there. And it has various defendants as well. That's the second large paragraph. The plaintiffs obviously are various students and their families, and the defendants are the school districts. Moving to a blow up of this, you can see that there's various persons that are named, but we call it the Méndez versus the Westminster School District case. And the reason that we don't read the whole thing is obviously it's very time consuming for purposes of legal citations and reciting it. To have to name every single party involved. I mean, could you imagine the poor legal scholar who would have to write out everything every time they mentioned the case? It'd be extremely time consuming. So just for the purposes of ease and for citation, the case is called Méndez versus the Westminster School District, but we wanted to bring it to the attention of all of you that there are various other folks that were involved in this case as well.
Thank you, Mr. Torino.
All rise. Courtroom 8 of the United States District Court for the Southern District of California Central Division is now in session. The Honorable Paul J. McCormick, Judge presiding. Please be seated. Calling case number 4292, civil, Gonzalo Méndez and others versus Westminster School District of Orange County and others.
Gonzalo Méndez, William Guzmán, Frank Palomino, Tomas Estrada, and Lorenzo Ramirez as citizens of the United States and on behalf of their minor children, and as they allege in the petition on behalf of some 5,000 persons similarly affected, all of Mexican or Latin descent, have filed a class action pursuant to Rule 23 of the Federal Rules of Civil Procedure, 28 U.S.C.A. following Section 723C against the Westminster, Garden Grove, El Modino School Districts, and the Santa Ana School District, all of Orange County, California, and the respective trustees and superintendents of said school districts. The complaint, grounded upon the 14th Amendment of the United States Constitution and Subdivision 14 of Section 24 of the Judicial Code, Title 28, Section 41, Subdivision 14, USCA, alleges a concerted policy and design of class discrimination against persons of Mexican or Latin descent or extraction of elementary school age by the defendant school agencies in the conduct and operation of public schools of said districts, resulting in the denial of the equal protection of the laws to such class of persons, among which are the petitioning school children. The petitioners demand that the alleged rules, regulations, customs, and usages be adjudged void and unconstitutional, and that an injunction issue restraining further application by defendant school districts of such rules, regulations, customs, and usages. Counsel, will you please state your name for the record?
Good morning, Your Honor. David Marcus for petitioners.
Good morning, Your Honor. George F. Holden, Deputy Co-Counsel for respondents.
Thank you, gentlemen. Plaintiff, call your first witness.
Your Honor, plaintiffs call Felicitas Méndez.
You may be seated, Ms. Méndez. I remind you that you are under oath. You want to bring the microphone a little bit closer to you? Thank you. You may inquire, counsel.
You're the wife of Mr. Méndez who just testified.
I am.
You have 3 children who reside in the Westminster District of Orange County, is that correct? Now, did you and your husband, together with persons whose names have been mentioned here during trial, see Mr. Atkinson, the County Superintendent of Schools of Orange County?
We did.
Do you remember when that was? Was that in January approximately?
I think it was January.
Now, do you remember the conversation between yourself, your husband, and the persons present, and Mr. Atkinson, the County Superintendent of Schools?
We went over there we first wanted to know how we could get our children to the main school in Westminster. And we were advised to go and see Mr. Ray Atkinson. And so we went over there and tried to ask him what about, if we could get our children in main school in Westminster. And he told us that he couldn't do anything because it was up to the board, that they had created those laws or formed those laws. I don't know how to explain it, and he couldn't do anything about it.
What laws do you have reference to that were created by the board?
Those laws of segregating the children of Mexican descent.
Did anybody say anything about that? Did your husband say anything about that?
Well, I think we talked a lot over there because we got kind of sore, especially me, you know. We always tell our children they are Americans, and I feel I am an American myself. And so is my husband. And we thought that they shouldn't be segregated like that. They shouldn't be treated the way they are. So we thought we were doing the right thing and just asking for the right thing, to put our children together with the rest of the children there.
Your Honor, I would stipulate that in order to move things along if possible, that her testimony would be the same as her husband testifying, Mr. Méndez, if that's the case.
We'll accept that stipulation. However, I thought the court and counsel would like to hear her converse in the English language.
Well, I have heard her sufficiently to form my own estimate of her qualifications as a witness. She seems to have a pretty good knowledge of the vernacular, beyond the commonplace vernacular. And so it should be as it is spoken. Thank you. You may continue.
Just one more question, if the court please. Do your children speak English?
They do.
Did they before they entered school?
They did a little, not very much. They can't carry on a very good conversation because when they are little, I don't think they could even carry on a good conversation in Spanish. So they couldn't carry on a good conversation in English.
But you could understand them in the English language.
I could.
Do they speak and understand the English language at the present time?
They do.
That is all.
No cross-examination.
Thank you. You may step down, Ms. Méndez. Call your next witness.
Mrs. Guzmán, would you please take the stand?
Ms. Guzmán, I remind you, you're under oath.
What is your name?
Virginia Guzmán.
Mrs. Guzmán, your husband testified here before on the stand today.
Yes.
Now, you have one child?
Attending school, yes.
How old is the child?
He's 8 years old.
Did you attend a meeting where this lady who had just testified was present?
I did.
at the Board of Education?
Yes,
These three people seated in the front row from the Board of Education, they were present?
yes, they were present.
Do you remember the conversation that was held there at that time regarding the letters that were sent out
Yes,
to the Mexican people?
yes.
Relate that conversation to the court and state who talked and who made the statements for the school board.
Well, Mr. Martin, he did all the talking there.
For you people?
Yes.
All right.
And he told them that we wanted to send Billy to the Franklin school, and they said that we lived in the Fremont district and that he had to go there. And we said, why didn't the others, our neighbors right next door and across the street that were going to the Franklin school, why didn't they get any letters? And they said that those kids had special permits. The white kids, as they call them.
They said the white kids got a special permit.
Yes.
To do what?
To transfer to the Franklin, that were living in the Fremont district, to go out of the Fremont district to the Franklin district.
To your knowledge, do only children of Mexican descent attend this Fremont school?
Yes.
Was anything said by Mr. Martin about children of Mexican descent or by the school board about this school?
Yes, he did a lot of talking, but they wouldn't pay any attention to him.
No. What was said?
He said, why couldn't my boy be permitted to attend that school? And they said that he couldn't.
Did he give the reason for it?
He said, Mr. Henderson said that we live in the Fremont district and that they couldn't change the district.
How long has he been going to the Fremont, do you know?
2 years.
In your immediate neighborhood, will you tell us how many children other than of Mexican descent there are?
30, 35.
Wait a minute. That go to the other school, that is the Franklin school.
To the Franklin, 30 or 35.
About 30 or 35 in your district.
Yes.
I think that is all. You may cross-examine.
Good morning, Mrs. Guzmán. The last year, Billy didn't pass that year, did he?
Last year, he didn't go last year.
No, the last year that he went to Fremont, he didn't pass. He didn't make the grade, did he?
No, I guess not.
Give us the names, Mrs. Guzmán, of some of those people, other than the Mexicans, who attended the Franklin School.
Well, I don't know whether I can remember the names, but right next door, there's Taylor. And on Franklin Street, there's the Harts.
How many children do the Taylors have?
2. No, 1. 1 little girl. The Frisbees, I believe 2. And Sweeney. I don't know if that's the first name or last, but she's got about 3 or 4.
Where does she live?
She lives right down on Pine, just below where I live.
How far from your home does she live?
About 2 blocks or 3. And the Taylors just next door. And the Harts, just back of my house.
Just next door to your home?
Yes.
And
the other kids, I don't know their last names.
Okay, and the ones that are named Sweeney and the Taylors and who else?
And the Harts.
You mean?
And the other kids, I don't know their first names, but I know their first names, but not their last. There's Ronnie, and there are a lot of other kids, and I know their first name.
Is that all the people you know, the ones you mentioned?
No, there are more, but I don't know their names.
Have you checked out the neighborhood there and seen how many children that are transferred?
No, but I know just about how many in the family.
That's all you're on.
No further questions.
Thank you. You may step down. You may call your next witness.
I will call Ms. Torres.
Ms. Torres, I remind you, you're under oath.
Ms. Torres, where do you live?
El Mondino,
How long have you lived there?
14 years.
We're going into that district now?
Yes, we are.
We were in Garden Grove and now we're in
Almadena.
Santa Ana, and now we're in Almadena. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor. What school do you attend or did you attend?
The Lincoln School.
How long have you attended that school?
I attended it for 8 years until I graduated from there.
Do you live close by this Lincoln School?
I do, sir.
And do you know where the Roosevelt School is located?
Yes, sir.
How far from the Lincoln School is the Roosevelt School?
I would say about 300 yards.
And are both schools within the same block or on the same block?
Yes, I think they are.
What separates the two schools?
Some baseball diamonds, and I think that's just about it.
Is there a fence of any kind?
No, there isn't.
Now, when you commenced at the school, that is the Lincoln School, did you speak the English language?
Yes.
Do you have any brothers or sisters?
Yes, I do.
Give their names and ages, please.
There's Connie, 22 years old. Robert, 20 years old. Eloise, 18. Sally, 16. David, 8. And Sylvia, 4 months.
How many of your brothers and sisters attended that school?
All of them except the little baby.
Did all of your sisters and brothers, within your knowledge, speak the English language before they attended school?
Yes, they all did.
Where were you born?
Almadena.
And do you know where your father and mother were born?
Yes, they were born in Mexico.
Now, do children only of Mexican descent attend the Lincoln School?
Yes.
Are there approximately 249 students there or were there during this last semester?
Yes, I think there were.
What time of day does the Lincoln School commence?
8:20.
What time of day does the Roosevelt School commence?
9:45.
It commences at a later hour.
Yes.
What time do you have as your recess and for your lunch?
11:30.
Do you have recess at the same time as the Roosevelt School?
No.
Do you children play together or have you played together between the two schools at any time during your attendance at the Lincoln School?
Well, just whenever we had games against each other, but that's about it.
Only in competitive sports.
Yes.
But at no time did you have any association with one another
No.
or any social contacts with one another.
No.
Do you have a cafeteria at your school?
No.
Where do you children have your lunch?
We have our lunch at home.
All of you go home.
Well, all except the ones that bring their own lunches. They eat them outside.
Who is the superintendent of your school?
The superintendent of both schools is Mr. Hammerston.
Who is the principal of your school?
Well, he was last year. It is Mr. Hunt.
Did you at any time during the past year have a discussion with Mr. Hunt, the principal of the school?
Yes.
Where did that discussion take place?
At the Lincoln School, in our classroom.
And who was present there at that discussion?
All the pupils were present that day.
And all those pupils were of Mexican descent?
Yes, all of them.
And were those children American citizens?
Yes.
Born in the United States?
Yes, all of them born in the United States.
Ms. Torres, can you fix it a little bit more definitely, the day that occurred, this conversation?
Well, it occurred about during the month of May. I don't recall what date or anything, but I know it was during the month of May.
May of this year, 1945?
Yes.
And what was who was present besides you and the other children?
Well, it could have been earlier months of this year. All of my classmates were present that day.
Were there any adults present except the children?
No, just our teacher.
Is he the principal?
Yes.
And that is the principal of your school?
Yes, he's the principal and our 8th grade teacher. Well, someone asked him that we wanted to know why we were separated. The American people, the American children, and the Mexican children. That we were all American citizens and we didn't see why they had us separated. And he said he just didn't know. He didn't make the rules. This is just what he told us. And then we asked him some more. If they had us separated, Why did they still have some Mexican children over there at the American school? And he just couldn't give us an answer to that. He just said he didn't make the rules. He repeated that again. He didn't make the rules. We told him we didn't like that because pupils of Mexican descent went over to Roosevelt School, considered themselves superior to us, and sometimes they wouldn't even talk to us because they were attending the Roosevelt School. We had a very short talk that day.
Was anything said at that time about the question of rights, of constitutional rights? Do you remember any discussion as to that?
Objection, Your Honor, leading and suggesting.
Yes, you have just covered something that I presume would fall in that category. Don't lead her, counsel. You don't have to lead this young lady. She's very intelligent witness.
Do you remember anything else that was said there by the students?
No, I don't remember, except all of them got sore because they didn't think it was right.
Well, do you remember anything else said that was said by Mr. Hunt?
No, I don't.
All right. You attended, you say, the Lincoln School for the past 8 years.
Yes.
Did you ever request to go to the other school?
No.
Was there any reason why you didn't request it?
Well,
Your Honor, I'm going to object, call for a conclusion from this one.
I believe I'll let her answer the question, if she can answer it.
Why didn't you ask to go to the Roosevelt School?
well, I guess I knew. I guess my father knew very well that they wouldn't admit us over there anyway.
Move to strike, Your Honor.
But wait until she finishes.
They just wouldn't admit us over there, so we never did ask. I don't know if he had any other reasons.
You may cross-examine.
Before you do that, Mr. Holden, I want to ask a question along that line. Ms. Torres, on this day that you had the talk with the principal there, that you identified to, testified to, how did it happen that that question came up that day?
Well, I don't remember how it did. We were just having some kind of talk and we started to discuss it. And I don't remember exactly what we were talking about.
Yes, a couple of questions more, if the court please.
Yeah, I want counsel to finish it in one sitting and don't take it up piecemeal. Yeah, you may proceed.
Do you have any neighbors in the same district, in that same district, in the El Medino School District, who are children of your own age that are not of Mexican descent?
Yes, there are plenty of white children, Americans, as they say there.
They what?
Americans, as they say they are. They don't consider us.
Well, you're telling us that you're not considering yourself white, Carol. You don't look like a person that is not white.
No,
Why didn't they ask you to go to Roosevelt?
I don't know.
If you felt hurt about being kept away, why didn't you ask to go there?
I guess we just felt hurt because they wouldn't admit all of them. It just didn't seem right.
That is all you wanted? That is, all of you wanted to go over there?
Yes, we all wanted to be together.
Is it your desire at the present time that all of the children, whether of Mexican descent or other children, commingle together?
Yes.
Now, these other children who are your neighbors and are not of Mexican descent, where do they go to school?
Roosevelt.
That is all.
No cross-examination.
You may step down.
Howard. You were shot.
You may call your final witness.
Isabel Ayala.
Ms. Ayala, I remind you, you're under oath.
Where do you live, Isabel?
I live in Garden Grove,
How long have you lived in the Garden Grove district?
about 3 years.
And what is the address of your home?
124 West Acacia Street,
Now, how far do you live from the Lincoln School?
about 5 blocks,
And how far do you live from the Hoover School?
about 1.5 miles, 2 miles.
How old are you?
I'm 17, 18.
Where did you receive your education?
Ocean View Elementary School and Huntington Beach High School.
Do you have any brothers or and sisters?
I have 3 brothers and 3 sisters.
Give us the names and ages of the children who are attending school at the present time, please.
Ines, he's 13 and is attending the 6th grade.
At what school?
Fitz.
And the next one?
Cora, she's 9 years old and is attending 4th grade Hoover School. And Jenny is 7 years old, attending 2nd grade at Hoover School.
Were you born in the United States?
I was born in the state of Oklahoma.
Your brothers and sisters that you have mentioned, were they born in the United States?
Yes, they were.
And what is your father's name?
Jesus.
And your mother's name?
Poderosa, Pomosa.
How long did you say you lived in the Garden Grove district?
About 3 years. I don't recall very well, but around 2 to 3 years.
Now, did you ever have a conversation with Mr. James L. Kent?
I did.
How many conversations did you have with him?
1.
Prior to talking to Mr. Kent, did you talk to anyone else in that district?
Yes, I did. I think it was the principal. I'm not very sure. I think it was the Lincoln School.
And when was that?
It was when I moved to Garden Grove. I went to enroll my little sister there.
Did you take your sisters with you?
Yes, I did.
And when was that you went to enroll there?
Right after I moved to Garden Grove.
What year was that?
Let's see. I think it was in 1943.
At that time, did you have a conversation with the principal or the person you believed was the principal of the Lincoln School?
Yes.
Now, when you talked to the principal of the school, were your sisters with you?
Yes.
As a result of that conversation, where did you go?
Well, she sent me to Mr. Kent.
That is the Mr. Kent who testified here on the witness stand before today.
Yes.
Well, when you went to see him, did you talk to Mr. Kent?
Yes, I talked to Mr. Kent
Where did that conversation take place?
in his office.
At what school?
Fitz.
Now, relate that conversation that you had with Mr. Kent.
Well, I went to see Mr. Kent and I waited in his office for a few minutes. And he came in and I asked him if I could have my little sisters in school, enrolled in the Lincoln School. He said, "No, I'm sorry. We have a school for the Mexican children." He says, "All children of Mexican ancestry have to go over to the Hoover School." And I asked him why. He says, "Well," he says, "in the first place, they don't speak very good English. They don't speak very good English, and we want them over there to teach them English." I said, "My little sister speaks English. They speak English very good, all of them." He said, "Well, he couldn't do very much about it." And he says, "If I let your sisters come here, most of the Mexican children would want to come in here too." He says, "If you're not the first one that has been here. I have other complaints, but I can't do anything about that." He says, "All Mexican children have to go to the Hoover School."
What else did you say to him?
Oh, I told him about the other school. I said, "We have attended Ocean View School. We all go there, and we were all mixed there, and the children speak very good English there." He says, "Well, sorry, I just can't do anything. You are all of Mexican ancestry, aren't you?" I say, "Yes, I am." He says, "Well, there's nothing I can do. You have to send your little sisters to the Hoover School. That's all."
Did Mr. Kent at that time tell you or ask you if you would like to send your little sisters to the Hoover School?
No, he did not. He said I had to send them over there.
Did you then take them over there?
Well, there was nothing I could do or we could do. They had to go to school, so we had to send them over there.
And how far is that from your home?
About 2 miles. Besides, they have to walk to get to the bus too.
They're attending the Hoover School at the present time?
Yes, they are.
Have they been attending school since that time?
They have.
Now tell me, do your little sisters speak the English language?
Yes, they do.
You're acquainted with the children that attend that school, are you not?
Yes, I am.
The other children are of Mexican descent.
Yes, sir.
Have you been over at that school?
Yes.
Did Mr. Kent give your sisters any sort of examination
No, he did not.
at that time?
He did not.
Did he talk to them at all?
No, he did not.
You may cross-examine.
Thank you, Joe.
Good morning, Ms. Ayala. Are you sure that you know Mr. Kent when you see him?
Yes, I am. I saw him on the witness stand.
Well, your testimony is that you talked to him in April 1943.
No, I spoke to the principal.
And on what date did you speak to Mr. Kent?
I spoke to him in the early days of 44. I don't recall the date exactly, but I know it was in the early days of 44.
The early days of 44? How long after April 1943?
Well, it was almost a year after.
You were transferred from the Ocean View School in April of 1943.
Yes, that's right. We moved to Garden Grove.
You enrolled in the school at that time?
No, I had graduated from school.
The little children were transferred?
Yes.
Your little brother and sister enrolled at the Hoover School in April 1943?
Yes, they did.
That's all, Your Honor.
Isabel, are these children your full sisters and brothers?
Yes, they are.
You are 18 now?
Yes, sir.
Do you speak English at home with your father and your mother?
Well, we speak it. Yes, we do. My mother and my father, they don't speak it very well, but they speak English and they carry conversations very well, especially my father.
I mean, around at dinner table and family, what do you speak?
Both English and Spanish. Most of us, my brother, who is in high school, and the rest of the children, we speak English. We don't even speak in Spanish around the house.
Any other questions, counsel?
No, Your Honor.
No, Your Honor. Thank you. You may step down. The equal protection of the laws pertaining to the public school system in California is not provided by furnishing in separate schools the same technical facilities, textbook, and courses of instruction to children of Mexican ancestry that are available to the other public school children, regardless of their ancestry. A paramount requisite in the American system of public education is social equality. It must be open to all children by unified school association, regardless of lineage. The evidence clearly shows that Spanish-speaking children, some are retarded in learning English, not retarded educationally, but are not kept up with learning English by lack of exposure to its use because of segregation, and that commingling of the entire student body develops and instills a common cultural attitude among school children, which is imperative for the perpetuation of American institutions and ideals. It is established by the record that the methods of segregation prevalent in the defendant school districts foster antagonisms in the children and suggest inferiority among them where none exists. We conclude by holding that the allegations of the complaint have been established sufficiently to justify injunctive relief against all defendants, restraining further discriminatory practices against the pupils of Mexican descent in the public schools of defendant school districts. Findings of fact, conclusions of law, and decree of injunction are accordingly ordered pursuant to Rule 52 of the Federal Rules of Civil Procedure. Attorney for plaintiffs will within 10 days from the date hereof prepare and present same under Rule 7 of this court. This court is now adjourned. Thank you. Just a brief preparatory remark. 24 witnesses appeared at the trial. 5 days of testimony.
Wow.
We took only 4 witnesses, female witnesses, that testified because they represented each of the 4 school districts that were sued.
Sure.
The Westminster School District, the Garden Grove School District, the El Modelo School District, and the Santa Ana School District. So those are the 4 that we presented. I want to thank all the actors, the attorneys for their presentation today. At this time, State Senator Tom Umberg and Assemblyman Tree Talk are going to make presentations to the families, and then we're going to have a picture opportunity of the families jointly over here on the side. Thank you.
Well, thank you. Another round of applause to the reenactors. There's a Spanish philosopher, Jorge Santayana, who said the following. He said, "Those who cannot remember the past are condemned to repeat it." And that's a lesson for all of us, especially tonight, especially in the context of Méndez versus Westminster. Because within the lived experience of many people in this room, we as a society said, because of your skin color, your language, you are going to go to a separate school. Your future is going to be determined by your skin color and by your language and perhaps by your parentage. That's within the lived experience of many in this room. And maybe we've forgotten some of that lesson. Maybe we've forgotten some of that lesson when today individuals are targeted for detention by virtue of the fact of their language, their skin color, or their occupation. Maybe we've forgotten that. But it's important that we remember that lesson and we repeat that lesson. It's so important. Every lawyer in the state of California should know that lesson. And every school child should know that lesson so that we don't repeat it. And I realize that that sounds like hyperbole, but I don't think it is. I don't think it is.
You're right.
That lesson needs to be taught. There's another lesson in this, and the other lesson in this is not just not just the lesson of our history, but the lesson that a few people, your parents, your grandparents, saw some inequity. And they didn't say, somebody should do something about it. They didn't say, boy, this is bad. This is bad. I wish someone would take up the cause. They said, we'll do it. It's our job. I'm going to change the world. And they did. And that change radiated beyond Orange County. It's a lesson of pride in Orange County, also a lesson that's not so prideful. But that radiated, and that's another lesson, especially for young people, that needs to be taught, is that when you see inequity, when you see discrimination, when you see people are treated by virtue of immutable traits, that it's our individual responsibility to point that out and to stand up and make the change we can make. And so, I'm proud to stand here with my colleague, Trita, who has taken upon himself to make sure that lesson is taught, that lesson is proclaimed. By virtue of recognition, proclamation, Sylvia and others were up in Sacramento for that. And I'm certainly happy that we have a trail in Westminster that's dedicated to the Méndez lesson and all the families, that young people who walk that trail, when they come from school, that they learn that lesson. So on behalf of the California State Senate, now in a moment, I'm about to be embarrassed because Tree has brought assembly resolutions that are all framed. And, just represent they have more money than we do. But I am really pleased and honored and privileged to be able to present these resolutions, and they're all resolutions to the mothers. The mothers are not here with us. They're here with us in spirit, but they're all resolutions to the families and recognition of their mothers and their passion and determination on behalf of the children and all the children that are impacted. So thank you very much for including me, Tree. Thanks.
It is an honor for me to be here, and I want to thank Senator Umberg for helping us. I think some of you are already aware that I was a mayor of City of Westminster before I got elected on California State Assembly. And when I was mayor of Westminster, the case of Méndez versus Westminster came to my attention. But it was really surprising. Even Latino community who live in Westminster they were not aware of the case. When it came to my attention, I brought the case up to the city council, and my former colleagues, former council members, chief contrarians, I worked with him. So the city council of Westminster at a time in 2017, we decided to honor the family properly. So we built up a trail, we built up a park to honor the fight, to honor the families. And then one of the things the senator at the time, Senator Umber, he secured 1.5 million from the state to help the city to build the park to honor the family. And one of the things on County Board of Education and all the staff for supporting my city as well. I think some of you already received a really good news, AB 1805. AB 1805 that I had an honor to introduce beginning of this year with a strong support from Senator Umber. And in my view, in our view, we make sure that all high school across the state have to learn about Méndez versus Westminster. The bill passed and started to law. Every time I talk about the fight, it is my emotional. Because of the fight family. So my generation had opportunity to go to school here and many other communities. So Senator Umber and I, we really appreciate the fight for equal opportunity in education of the 5 families. And I believe your fight is going to be a hope for future generation. Thank you so much.
Mr. Tom, can you stand over here, and then Mr. Umber? What we're going to do is have a photo opportunity for family members to come up. So would the family members of Felicitas Méndez first come up, and then Mr. Umber, and or if only 1 or 2 want to come, however many family members of the Méndez family want to come up, so that you could be given the certificate and also a photo opportunity.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. They're going to walk to you. Okay. And the photographer will move over there to me. Go ahead, Judy.
Like there's a big.
And did you?
Sorry.
Yeah, hold the plaque this way, Dad. Hold it up so we can no up more.
My daughter gives me direction that way too.
Don't move. You know I want to be in there. Okay, everybody to me. Ready? 1, 2. Over here. 3. One more. It's my family. Yep. Say hi. You guys are live. Okay. Say hi. You guys are live. Yeah. Okay, bye.
Okay, we're gonna call the next family. Junior Guzmán family.
I should have come back.
They're gonna come to you. How many do we have? Are you pretty much all of them here? Okay, then stand up here so that we can. Sure. Tom? One more over here. The Guzmán family.
Hey, hi, Michael.
This is awkward. We're live. Say hi.
Excellent. Okay, over here, cheesecake.
Oh, sorry. Excuse me. Come here. Say hi. Your guys are live.
Oh, you got a new one. Oh, good.
You.
Hey, you're the man with the tie, right? Okay, I remember you.
It's properly dressed.
I talked to him earlier.
Got a lot of pictures of that website.
Hi. Hi.
I'm gonna go to the Palomino family for a triple batting. Palomino family, yeah.
I know it. Oh. You got
And on Highway 39, we have softball people.
I think we're gonna get something.
And I used to be old stuff.
I had a headache, but I ate some nuts and I felt better. Oh wait, let me go get them over there. Okay, no, you're good.
Oh, good. You can go in here though.
Oh, I missed it.
Yeah.
Oh, that's not, I'm here.
Let's see.
Isn't that nice?
That's so nice.
Isn't it beautiful?
Pretty. Can I see your back? Say hi, you guys are live. Oh, cool. There you go. Nice. Cool. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
All right. I gotta get a lot. Yeah, I gotta get a lot of them. 'Cause I'm framing all these.
You want me to take a picture for you?
Recognizing our family. Thank you.
The light reflects. You're getting a.
Stay there.
Is to be in. Okay, and I know different. Our families are gone, so we don't know a lot of, when my mom said cast. Number? By all you.
I know that. I know that.
Yeah.
What? Oh. Yeah. Yes. Right. Don't remind me of everybody with sense. That's what happens when you get involved with a lot of things. I didn't do it just.
We're gonna get started here. We have a presentation to give you about the outcome of this and the results of it. And then we'll have time to socialize and catch up at the reception. Please take your seats so we can start the good food that we're about to have.
I'll tiptoe graciously. How long have you known me? That's why he said that.
All right, folks, we're going to make a quick presentation, a little bit about the history of public education in California, and then we'll move on very quickly. I gave you a handout at the beginning that has a photograph of the school that was built in 1859, and so you all have that. So I'm not going to go through it real quickly, other than to highlight a couple of things. When California was established, just like most states, public education was to be provided to every child, free, right? So the legislature was going to have to do it. Well, 1866, you can see California's first statute regarding public education specified every school shall be open for the admission of all white children between the ages of 5 and 21, and the education of black children and Indian children will be provided for in separate schools. So we go to 1885, and California is experiencing a heavy influx of Asian children, Chinese, Japanese, etc. So they passed a law that required separate schools for Asian children. And this law was in effect until this Méndez case came along in 1947. And the law also established separate schools for Native American children. Orange County was similar to other counties in the state, providing for Mexican American children in separate schools, not by statute, but by local custom. And here's a interesting photograph, 1934, Logan Elementary School here in Santa Ana. It was a segregated school. Eventually, Judge James Perez became a judge. He was one of the classmates here. He's second row, fourth from right. And his two sons are here, both judges, Mike Perez and Joe Perez. This is a photograph taken in 1935 in my hometown of Placencia. My dad had to go to separate schools in Placencia for Mexican American children. He's at the top row, back. He was 15 years old at the time, 8th grade, and his sister and cousins are in the front row. In 1940, here's a photograph of a segregated school in La Habra, and Justice Cruz Reynoso is in the second row, third from left. This is a school that Carol Torres talked about, Roosevelt and Lincoln. You can see they were right next to each other. So the Mexican kids would have to go into one school, and the quote American children would go to the other school. This is an interesting part of the Méndez case. The Munimitsu family out of Westminster, Japanese Americans, were imprisoned along with 120,000 Japanese American citizens during World War II. This picture was taken in Poston, Arizona, 1942. Now, the family is smiling, but it's only because they were told that this photograph was going to go to their grandfather, who was in another prison camp, separate from his children and grandchildren. They had whole families in prison. Well, the family was going to lose their home and 40-acre ranch farm in Westminster. The Méndez family moved into it, and when they tried to enroll their children in the local schools, they were denied, and that's how the Munimitsu family and the Méndez family are intertwined. Janet Munimitsu is here, and she's written a beautiful book. Thank you. And at this point, Justice Delaney is going to talk about the attorneys that were involved and a little bit about the case, and so I'll turn it over to you.
So thank you all for being here. Sorry to disappoint you. I'm actually not David Marcus. I hope I had you fooled or convinced. My name is Tom Delaney. I'm a Court of Appeal Justice here in Orange County, 4th Appellate District, Division 3. What you witnessed here today were actual questions, actual answers from the trial transcripts. So if it sounded a little bit, actual questions from the court. If it sounded a little bit odd, it was because it was real. And it came right from the transcripts. Nothing was added. We obviously condensed the testimony to make it more reasonable in terms of time, but it was from the actual 5-day trial, which took place between July 5th and 11th, 1945 in downtown Los Angeles, at what was then the federal courthouse at 312 North Spring Street, which is a beautiful building, by the way. And it was in the middle of July. And all these witnesses had to drive up. Think about that. It's tough enough to do it today. Had to drive up there during the hot summer month for every day they were testifying at trial. And these were the women who testified. They represented their respective, their experience from the respective 4 Orange County school districts: Santa Ana, El Medino, which is primarily the city of Orange, Garden Grove, and Westminster. You heard Senator Umberg talk about there are various lessons and many lessons from the Méndez case. Today, for me, there's 3 that we're really highlighting. One, there were 5 families involved. So to the extent you don't appreciate that there were more than one family, because that's how you do things in the law. Otherwise, you're talking for 5 minutes and you barely got through the name of the case. So other than the Méndez family, you now know that there were 5 families. We highlighted the women
in those, that were testifying in those trials. And I don't know if any of you have gone through the justice system, as great as it is and as much as it is the best system in the world, it's brutal. If you've never gone through it as a witness or a litigant, it's brutal. Even if you win, it's tough. So they're heroes. So we wanted to highlight, in the memory of Frances Muñoz, Judge Frances Muñoz, we wanted to highlight the women who testified at the trial as well. Finally, change does not happen by accident, and it does not happen alone. You heard Senator Umberg talk a little bit about that too. So I want to talk to you about some of the people so that you can really understand who was behind this. And we're going to move very quickly so that we can get in and continue that socializing that you're all doing and catch up with each other. David Marcus, the lead lawyer I was fortunate enough to play, he graduated from USC Law School at a time where public interest wasn't very popular, but USC Law School was leading in that area. They had a public service clinic. And he was the son of Jewish immigrants. He faced discrimination, including at USC Law School and as he entered the legal profession. He started his career working for the Mexican consulate in Los Angeles, representing Mexican nationals and Mexican Americans in all types of legal actions, including those where Mexican nationals and Mexican Americans and others were suffering discrimination and being marginalized. 3 cases I want to talk about briefly. Doss versus Bernal in 1943. He represented a Mexican family that they were trying to kick out of their home, and he convinced the court for one of the first in the country where the court found that racially restrictive covenants violated the Equal Protection Clause. He then turned his sights onto public facilities, and in 1944, the following year, in Lopez versus Sacombe, he convinced the court that the local San Bernardino communities that were restricting Mexican Americans' use of public facilities like the pool to 1 day a week, the day before they cleaned the pool. That was a violation of equal protection. Win number 2. He utilized the lessons he learned from Doss versus Bernal and Lopez versus Sacombe to convince Judge Paul McCormick, played by Judge Aguirre very well, I might add, that Equal Protection Clause also protected children when it came to education. And separate schools for students of Mexican descent was inherently unequal. Most notably, David Marcus was among a growing cohort of talented Jewish American, African American, Asian American, and others, lawyers who found positions in organizations that sought to shift the legal terrain in California in an effort to secure civil rights for those being subject to discrimination and, again, being marginalized. Some of those people were involved, a number of those lawyers were involved in this case. Very quickly, A.L. Waring, A.L. stands for Abraham Lincoln, was an attorney with the American Civil Liberties Union in Los Angeles. He was amicus counsel during the trial. Amicus means a friend of the court. So he sat during the trial and helped, and the judge welcomed it because the judge recognized how important this case was. It's very unusual for amicus counsel to appear during a trial. They often appear in the appellate level and support briefs to support the arguments of the side that they're affiliated with. In this case, the ACLU was present throughout the trial and actually took some witnesses. He also helped in a case in which Fred Korematsu, a Japanese American, an American citizen, where the United States Supreme Court actually allowed the imprisonment of American citizens based on their nationality. Lauren Miller was also counsel. He was an attorney with the National Lawyers Guild. He was also working with Mendez during the trial, Marcus, during the trial of Mendez and on the appeal. He was also involved in cases involving racially restrictive covenants in Los Angeles, the Sugar Hill cases. He too convinced the Los Angeles Superior Court judge that racially restrictive covenants violated equal protection. He did that the year after David Marcus did it in 1943. There's a California State Bar award named after him, and Lauren Miller later became a Los Angeles Superior Court judge. Saburo Kido, he helped with the amicus brief in the Mendez case in 1947. He was an attorney with the Japanese American Citizen League, and he handled cases, in addition to helping with Mendez, he handled cases involving rights of Japanese Americans during World War II. Robert Carter, an attorney with the NAACP, the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People in New York. He assisted in the amicus brief on the appeal in the Mendez case. He also was counsel in Brown versus Board of Education, the U.S. Supreme Court case, and he later became judge of the United States District Court, a federal court judge in the Southern District of New York. And I hope a number of you recognize Thurgood Marshall. Like Carter, he was an attorney with the NAACP in New York. He wrote an amicus brief in Mendez
and he was lead counsel in Brown versus Board of Education, arguing it before the United States Supreme Court. He later became Associate Justice of the United States Supreme Court in 1967. Last but not least, at least for now, Earl Warren, Governor of the State of California, 1942 to 1953. Following Mendez, he called for the repeal of the education codes 8003 and 8004 in 1947. He had the State Attorney General file an amicus brief in the Mendez case. We'll see him surface again on other issues as we discuss the effects of Mendez on public education.
Thank you. Dr. Anaida Colon Muñiz, would you please and let us know what your thinking is with regards to the effects of the Mendez case on public education, coming from a professor emerita of Chapman University School, Chapman University, sorry.
Thank you. I just have 2 slides. Good evening. And thank you to all the families who are here. Oh, I went the wrong way. Well, I first heard about this landmark case in 1997. I worked for the school district, Santa Ana School District, and I was sitting in a board meeting when Mrs. Felicitas Méndez was wheeled in to be recognized for a school named after her and her husband, Gonzalo. Today, there are a number of other schools, a street, a park, archives, research centers, a U.S. postal stamp, and museum exhibits named after several of the plaintiffs. Representing the educational community and women, I hope to share some highlights on the role of women in adhering to the principles of democracy, but also on how students will learn about this case. The legacy of Mendez versus Westminster, first and foremost, is an acknowledgement of one way that Latinos have made contributions to the assurance of civil rights in the United States. The interrelationship amongst various civil rights and ethnic groups that were mentioned earlier came together in the name of justice and began to affect change. Thus, there is now increased interest in schools and universities to explore its historical civil rights impact, along with efforts to educate and disseminate information. For example, at Chapman University, Cal State Long Beach, Cal State Fullerton, UCI, Santiago Canyon College, and others, there have been events and there are library archives and ongoing presentations over the years. Their academic programs focus on the case through different disciplines such as education, ethnic and Chicano studies, law and legal studies, and civil rights and education. The women in this case were trailblazers. Even if they didn't see themselves in that light, they were vital to Latino civil rights as they embarked in a stressful but very successful legal process. This is important because they supported community efforts to end segregation, not just for themselves, but for their entire community. Women were the first to confront the school's discrimination when registering their children in the 1940s. Yet they showed enormous strength and resilience during those trying times. They took on extra work responsibilities so as to support the legal actions in which their husbands were engaged. They also provided testimony, which must have been very intimidating. They also organized fundraisers to support the case financially. Another important aspect of their role is how they taught their daughters and sons to share their stories and legacy, and to never be afraid to speak up for justice. Thankfully, this once obscure case has become an important part of the legal curriculum and other disciplines. In fact, mentioned earlier, California Law Assembly Bill 1805 is a bipartisan bill sponsored by Senator Umberg and Assemblymember Tra, who you met today, that was signed into law in September of 2024 by Governor Newsom. It provides students with a more complete understanding of civil rights history, focusing on the role of the Latino community in desegregation. It also mandates that any new history social science materials reviewed for adoption should include a history of the case appropriate to grade levels as of January 2025. The content and depth of the lessons will vary depending on the materials adopted by the state and the curriculum choices made by school districts. The law makes teaching about this case a requirement for history and social science classes from grades 1 through 12. Curriculum will include the case's history, legal arguments, and its role in ending school segregation in California and nationally. For example, in grades 3 through 5, teachers will introduce the concepts of fairness and equality and the story of Sylvia Méndez and why it was unfair to separate children and how the different families' courage helped create change because all children deserve an equal education. For grades 6 through 8, the focus is on discrimination, civil rights, and the concept of separate but equal, including the case as an early example of fighting segregation based on national origin and its role as a precursor to Brown versus Board of Education. Teachers may use articles like A Tale of Two Schools and introductory materials from PBS Learning Media, which are appropriate for this age group. For grades 9 through 12, the focus is a deeper analysis of the legal arguments, historical context, and long-term impact. Students will analyze the case as a landmark civil rights lawsuit, using it to discuss the 14th Amendment legal strategy and the role of activism. Teachers may use Philippa Strum's book, Méndez versus Westminster, School Desegregation and Mexican-American Rights, the film by Sandra Roby, Para Todos los Niños, and also analyze primary sources, these documents, while also discussing the case and the connection to the broader struggle for civil rights in the United States. And as Superintendent Bean said, this legislation will help ensure that every student understands the significance of Méndez v. Westminster, which exemplifies the immense potential of uniting for a common purpose, that of educational access. So while we might still have de facto segregation in some districts due to zoning, every child has the right to attend their choice public school, thanks to Méndez et al. V. Westminster et al., and to all the families and all who made the success of this case possible. I have a picture, 2 pictures today with me. One is of Chapman University, they have remodeled the Cypress School, which is actually the last standing Orange County Mexican school. And it's now a research center. And you can actually go into the lobby and I believe with some permissions and see some of the photographs that have been presented there in honor of all of the of this case. The other, that one. The other is when I learned about the case, which was after I saw Para Todos los Niños, For All the Children by Sandra Roby, we celebrated 2 huge events in Chapman in 2006 and 2007 to honor the families, to recognize the importance of this case. This picture was from 2007 when we unveiled or had the unveiling of the stamp when it came out, and you could see members of the various families. We also gave each of the families the Change the World Award, which was done annually from the College of Educational Studies at Chapman. So we were very happy to also start an archive on this case. And there are other universities that have taken on different elements, and it's really been wonderful to now be able to, Google or try to do research, and that so much information has been coming up, whereas before it was very, very limited. So I'm very thankful for all of the work that has been done, to all the people present. I know we have members of the Museum of Teaching and Learning here and others who have done this work as well. So thank you so much.
One thing that I thought was important for us to acknowledge is the effect of this case, especially on the national stage, that is with regards to Brown versus Board of Education. You saw earlier that Governor Earl Warren, at the time he was governor, was the one who encouraged the legislature to repeal the 2 statutes that were on the books regarding separate schools for Native American children and separate schools for Asian children. And as a result of the Méndez case and understanding the underpinnings, he had the legislature repeal those 2 statutes. So it was because of the Méndez case that those 2 statutes were no longer on the books that required separate schools for Native American children and Asian children. Second, Earl Warren, at the time that he was governor, instructed the Attorney General to file an amicus brief in the Mendez case and went up to the Ninth Circuit in 1947. So he was very aware of what happened in this case in 1945 and the ruling in 1946. He probably even had a close association with the Judge McCormick, because Judge McCormick started as a Superior Court judge in Los Angeles from 1910 to 1921. Then he went to the California Courts of Appeal in 1921 to 24, and then he was a federal court judge from 24 to 60. So along the route, Earl Warren, who was educated at, I think he went to Bolt Hall, which is Berkeley School of Law, and got his law degree, then became the Attorney General for California in the early 40s, and then became the governor. Had to have known Judge McCormick, had to have read his decision, and because of what he did in terms of asking for the repeal of those two statutes and getting the Attorney General to file an amicus brief. So he becomes Chief Justice of the Supreme Court in 1953, 7 years after Mendez was heard and decided on by the Ninth Circuit. And Earl Warren, he authored the Hernandez versus Texas case. Hernandez was a man in Texas who was accused of murdering a man in a bar fight. No members of his ethnic group were on the jury. It was all white, no Mexicans on the jury, no Mexican Americans. And that went up to the Supreme Court because the state of Texas said, well, Mexicans are white, and we had white people on the jury, so we know that they were all treated right. And interestingly enough, in the courthouse where the trial was heard, Mexicans were required to go to the same bathrooms as colored folks. It would say hombres aquí in the colored restrooms. I use the word colored because that's how it was stated there. So Warren understood clearly that Mexicans were treated as second-class citizens, even though they were considered white. He took it upon himself as the Chief Justice to author the ruling in Brown versus Board of Education, and he came out with a 9-0 decision affirming the right of people to have equal educational opportunities. He later wrote Gideon versus Wainwright. That was the one where Gideon, a poor white man in Florida, was accused of a crime, not given an attorney, and he wrote from his jail cell an appeal that went all the way up to this U.S. Supreme Court saying, I should have the benefit of an attorney, even though it's a minor case, anytime that a person is going to be incarcerated as a result of the accusation, that person should have counsel. And that's what Gideon versus Wainwright was all about. Miranda versus Arizona, of course, Mr. Miranda was forced to give a confession in the state of Arizona, and Warren wrote that stellar decision saying that people should be advised that whatever they say could be used against them, so they should be cautionary about any remarks that they make in the absence of an attorney. So keenly aware of all these things, I share with you why I think the Mendez case affected Warren's thinking and his ruling that he made 7 years post Mendez. In the Mendez case, this is what Judge McCormick said, and you heard me say that from the ruling that I read. And he says, commingling of the entire student body instills and develops a common cultural attitude among the school children, which is imperative for the perpetuation of American institutions and ideals. And so education goes beyond just reading, writing, and arithmetic, right? It helps perpetuate ideals that we all need as good citizens of the United States. Here's what Warren wrote in the Brown decision, mirrors it. Education is required in the performance of our most basic public responsibility, even service in the armed forces. It is the very foundation of good citizenship. Today, it is the principal instrument in awakening the child to cultural values. Sounds a lot like what McCormick said in Mendez, right? So let's go to the next point. McCormick says in this case, it is also established by the record that the methods of segregation prevalent in the defendant school districts foster antagonisms in the children and suggest inferiority among them where none exists. White kids that go to the white school feel superior to the Mexican kids that go to the inferior school, and it's inferior because only Mexicans go there, right? So here's what Warren says in his decision in Brown. Segregation of white and colored children in public schools has a detrimental effect upon the colored children. The impact is greater when it has the sanction of law. For the policy of separating the races is usually interpreted as denoting the inferiority of the Negro group. Similar to what was happening when McCormick said, what, you put Mexican kids into one building and white kids into another building, and they're only separated by a playground, football field, suggesting one is inferior and the other is superior, right? And where it shouldn't be, but you can see the same thinking that Warren was stating in Brown comes from the Méndez case. And here's the last one that I think was the most important, because this was the first time that a federal court judge ever made this distinction. The equal protection of the laws pertaining to the public school system in California is not provided by furnishing in separate schools the same technical facilities, textbooks, and courses of instruction to children of Mexican ancestry that are available to the other public school children regardless of their ancestry. So he's saying, McCormick is saying for the first time, Plessy versus Ferguson, that case in 1896 that said that African Americans, as long as they're given the same type of transportation, trolley car, one trolley car is the same as the next, doesn't matter if they're separated into one or the other because they have the same trolley car. So that Plessy versus Ferguson concept was applicable to schools all along, saying you have separate schools, they're okay as long as they're the same type building, the same desks, the same textbooks, the same type teachers. But McCormick blew a hole in that. He said, no, it's not provided. Even if you have the same textbooks, the same things, it's not provided. Equal protection cannot be abided by in public education unless you have children together and not separate. Listen to what Warren says in Brown. We conclude that in the field of public education, not transportation, the doctrine of separate but equal has no place. Separate education facilities are inherently unequal. Therefore, we hold that the plaintiffs are deprived of the equal protection of the law. So you can see the thread. You can see the thinking. Warren bases his thinking on what took place in McCormick had and make his ruling in the Méndez case. And you can see that how McCormick was shaped by the arguments that were presented by these very, very bright and energetic attorneys and by the witnesses and circumstances. So when we think about Méndez et al. Versus Westminster School District et al., we think about those 5 families that established the equal protection of the laws to apply to all children, not just Mexican American children, not just Puerto Rican children, all children, white, brown, Asian, Native American, to give them all equal opportunities here in California. Thank you, and this families, thank you. At this point, you know, I told the caterers that we would get over there by 6 o'clock. What we would like to do is adjourn to allow us to have fellowship, to eat. We also have a microphone in that room, which is adjacent, so that we can share also. We can have presentations by family members there. We cut a program as short as we could to accommodate, but we have to end it at this point and allow folks to go to the reception area, and we'll continue the dialogue. All right? Thank you, folks.
You want help? No, get your butt up. Come on. Hey, compa. Yeah.
This way, please. All right, bye. Good to see you.
Get up.
Hello, hi, hello, hi, excuse me. For the families, we have some students here who have made some certificates for all of the families. So if the families could just stay for about 5 to 10 minutes so we could present those certificates for you, that would be great. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Be able to see. Is this going to be like? Yeah, it's going to be on Regeneracion's YouTube. Say it again. Yes, hold on, let me. It's right here. Thank you so much. No problem, yeah. I kept telling my friends, it's live streaming, you gotta get it. Oh, really? Cool. Right there promoting it. Yeah. Way back then. But my family was that's right. Back to the time. But right now, we're in my I think it was everything. They gotta be like 4 or 5 different right here. I'm sorry.
I got it.
Okay, Mike.
No,
Yeah.
Right?
Para las 5 familias, for the 5 families, the students of Santa Ana High School and Seagristrom High prepare certificates for you all to be received. And we're hoping that Judge Muñoz's family can join them as well. The first, Vanessa Flores is a student from Seagristrom High School with Michael Gapnik. They designed the certificates. Several other students were involved. The first Poderosa, Luisa Estrada. The Estrada family, please come join Vanessa and the students up here, please. Where's Tommy? Mary? Venga. Vanessa. Come, Tommy. Thank you. The next certificate, Vanessa Flores, is Josefina Ramírez. Tío Mike is here. Gracias, Mike.
Excuse me.
Listo.
Wait.
Felicitas Méndez. Felicitas Méndez. Méndez family. Silvia and Gonzalo, William, Virginie, and Michelle. Janice, come on, you're part of this. Come on, you're part of this.
Well, our.
Well, excited today. So go beside you.
Is this a big one? Squeeze it tight.
Oh, documentary. Not there any part of it.
¿Y Gonzalo? Next to your favorite husband.
Okay, well, but I did hear about that. I'm gonna follow when it's done. Just open it.
Ay.
Gracias. Two more left. Irene Palomino. Palomino family. I see Andrew.
That'll be good. That'll be very nice.
I'm glad you did my day.
Thank you. Don't be sloppy. But it has evolved.
No.
And last and certainly not least, I think Tracy's at the taco bar. Virginia Guzmán, the Guzmán family, please. Beverly, the best dressed little guy here too.
Thank you. Thank you. Such an honor.
For showing your size. Yes.
She's too tired of
Bravo, muchas gracias. Any final words?
I just want to say I'm so honored to be able to do this for all these powerful women, and thank you.
Those of you that stuck around, come.
Don't wait.
Oh.
Just do it. You have to do it.
Oscar.
Yeah.
You're not going to see you.
I'm always around.
Okay, perfect.
Thank you. Come over. Yes.
Yeah. Okay, people ready. We're pretty yellow, isn't it? I'm just been on it. Are we waiting for someone? Oh, we're here.
Ready? Go. In the back here, Heidi. Oh, my. Okay, no, stand up.
I thought you were I can't see you.
Okay, here we go. 1, 2, 3. Count. A las dos. Ya las.
Fighting time.
I found it. Ready? Here we go. Back again. ¿Se puede? Sí se puede.
Let me get your phone. I'm going to text you my phone.
Any last minute words?
Thank you and gracias to all of you who supported in this recording, being here in person. This is the third annual. Hopefully it's one of many more. To all our allies and friends, even some of the haters, it's important to recognize our heroes, Frances Muñoz certainly, and the five matriarchs, Luisa Estrada, Virginia Guzmán, Irene Palomino, Felicitas Méndez, and Josefina Ramírez. Much love to all of you and to all those invisible heroes that maybe we never get a chance to celebrate. This is for you too. Ciao.